Hi everyone. This is the continuation on training and development. We're done discussing about the context. We're now on part 2, that is designing training. And the first thing that we will discuss about this is the needs assessment. So the first process of designing training is you need to assess the needs of your employees. Now, what is needs assessment? It refers to the process used to determine whether training is necessary. So from that, you will see if the person really need that kind of training. Most of the companies nowadays, they just send people to trainings without even assessing if the training is really uh, important with that employee. Now, why needs assessment? Training may be incorrectly used as a solution to a performance problem. Diba? Sometimes we think that the only solution in order to develop that kind of employee is sending them to training. But the question is, did we really assess them already? Programs may have the wrong content, objectives, or methods, and trainees may be sent to programs for which they do not have the basic skills, prerequisite skills, or confidence to learn, right? There are certain situations wherein employees are sent to trainings without even knowing what I'm gonna do with that. Do you I don't know about that training. I just have to attend because someone told me to attend. And sometimes they think that attending training is just accumulating certificates. Okay? Training will not deliver the expected learning, behavior change, or financial results if we don't assess them. And money will be spent on training programs that are unnecessary. If you try to think of it through needs assessment, we can already assess if the training is important or not, because we will be spending the money to those people who doesn't really need that training. So through needs assessment, we can avoid sending them to trainings that is not really need. Okay, here are the pressure points. It may signal the need for training, but not always. We have the legislation, lack of basic skills, poor performance, new technology, customer requests, customer dissatisfaction, new products and innovations, and higher performance standards. Now, what are the outcomes? It is important to consider the outcomes of needs assessment because we know what trainees need to learn, who receives training, the type of training needed, frequency of training, buy versus build training decision, and other human resource management solutions. Now, who should participate? Of course, we have the stakeholders. Different stakeholders bring unique and needed perspective to the process. We have the company leaders, mid-level managers, trainers, employees, and the subject matter expertise. Now, how should data be collected? How will I assess employees? There are different methods that can be used to collect information, and no one method is necessarily superior to another. There are strengths and limitations of each, and each may be more relevant in some contexts than others. Now, here are the methods. First, observation. Observation is used by just simply looking at, observing the person, how they perform. Then that's time you already assess the person. But then sometimes there are bias on observation. Okay? We can also use survey through questionnaires by simply giving them a set of questions, answer it, then you can assess already what they need. Then interview. We do that face-to-face interaction, but then we cannot say that the person can really speak up what he or she really need. There are different kinds of people, right? And then focus groups and crowdsourcing, where just simply having a meeting composed of 5 to 6 people and recording that. That is a focus group discussion. Then existing documentation. There are existing documents. You can assess the needs of our employees based on the things that they have attended, based on their positions. Okay. Then online technology. We can also use that assessing their method, the needs of our employees, assessment methods. Okay. We have what we call the Google Classroom form. We can use that. We have also different software that we use in order to assess our employees on their needs. Then historical data review. So by the word historical, we are dealing with the history. Okay? There are process of needs assessment that involves three analyses. We have the organization, the person, and the task. So when we say organization, we're dealing with the company. The person is the employee itself, and of course, the task is it deals with the job. Okay. Organization analysis. There are three factors to examine to determine if training is the appropriate solution: the company's strategic direction, the social support to ensure that individuals are motivated to attend training, learn, and transfer, and training resources, time, and expertise. For the person analysis, it helps to identify who needs training, and also known as gap analysis, which involves determining what is responsible for the differences between current and expected performance. Then it involves obtaining a variety of information on person characteristics, inputs, outputs, consequences, and feedback. For the task analysis, it results in a description of the tasks to be performed and the knowledge, skills, and abilities required to perform. And it should be undertaken only after the organizational analysis has determined that the company wants to devote time and money for training. There are four primary steps in the task analysis. First is select the jobs to be analyzed. Develop a preliminary list of tasks to be analyzed. Validate the list of tasks with SMEs. After the most important tasks have been identified, identify the most important KSAOs. Now, in needs assessment, it also involves competency models. It identifies the competencies necessary for a given job. So when we say competencies, it refers to sets of KSAOs, or the knowledge, skills, abilities, and other requirements that enable employees to perform their job. And it provides descriptions of competencies that are common for an entire occupation, organization, or job. And nowadays, we have certain competencies that is required. Say, for example, if you are have a course on baking, there are certain competencies required before they will hire you. You need to be assessed on the TESDA, right? Okay. Then it may vary with business strategy and goals. Competency models identify behaviors needed for effective performance. They provide a tool for determining what skills are necessary to meet current and future needs. They help to determine what skills are needed at different career points. Provide a framework for ongoing coaching and feedback. Create a roadmap for developing employees for managerial positions. And provide a common set of criteria to identify training activities for employees. Now, there are processes in developing a competency model. As you can see here, the first one is to identify business strategy and goals. And we know that when it comes to dealing with strategic management, these are already identified. The business strategy, the goals that they want to achieve for the company. Then identify jobs, position, or job families. Conduct interviews and focus group with top performers. Then develop competencies and a competency model, validate and review the model. And the last thing that we will discuss about this is the scope. Often, managers and trainers may avoid conducting a needs assessment. Why? Because they may provide a variety of excuses. Without conducting a proper needs assessment, training will not be well targeted. A need assessment in practice should not collect all information presented in the text, but should be tailored to situation at hand. And due to time constraints, sometimes a rapid needs assessment would be appropriate. And the rapid needs assessment refers to the needs assessment that is done quickly and accurately without sacrificing the quality. We can assess them if there is no more time because of a lot of tasks given to the human resource. You can do the rapid needs assessment, but then don't sacrifice the quality. So when we say quality, it doesn't mean you just make um, um, different ideas on what the employees really need. Maybe because they fall on this kind of category, you just assess on your own. So don't sacrifice the quality just because you want to, because of the time. Okay, so that ends my topic. Next video, you will discuss about learning and transfer of training. So once you already assess, we now determine how the learning will be given to our employees or our trainees. So that ends my topic. See you on my next video.